I thought today's energy and intensity and focus was much better than yesterday. As I touched on yesterday, Tuesdays are always a little bit of a grind, and we had to deal with the heat yesterday. I thought the guys came out with a better focus, that they knew what to expect. They knew it was going to be warm today, but their energy was better, their intensity was better, their focus was better, and inevitably we had a better practice because of it. We got a little nicked up. We had two guys that were sick coming into practice today, and Antoine Woods and Jacob Daniel. Sedware kind of bruised his knee, he'll be fine, and Damian sprained his knee, not nearly as significant as a year ago, so we'll just have to monitor him. He'll be day to day. I thought the guys coming off of injury, Justin and Claude, showed good stuff. I thought Adoree looked really good today. We saw him doing multiple things, which was positive. And Steven looked like he was really 100% back to his old self again today as well. So all in all, it was a good day of work. I think the heat has been good for us. I think it's a positive that we have to work through it. We didn't have a whole lot of heat in training camp, so to have it this week I think is good for us. So now we got to clean some things up here Thursday and Friday so that we can go out and put our best foot forward on Saturday night.
I asked Juju a question about Idaho on Saturday, and he said, "I'm focused on practice, really not the game." It's kind of interesting. Does the game start when you practice?
Without a doubt for us. I mean, practice is everything. Our practices are so competitive. That's why you see us go ones-on-one so much throughout practice, because we think that's where we make ourselves. And we preach it all the time. Our opponents really should be faceless. It shouldn't be about the opponent. The opponent shouldn't determine how hard I work throughout the week. It's who we are determines how we work throughout the week. And I think our guys are really starting to understand it. It's great to hear that that's the focus that Juju had for today, because honestly, today's the most important day, and tomorrow will be the most important day. So we need to focus on today and do a great job of all the things that today is asking us to do.
It seems like Osa Messina has really improved a lot since the start of training camp. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, Osa he's a really physical player. I think he's playing with a lot more confidence over the last probably 2 to 3 weeks. When you score a touchdown, that can give you a little bit more confidence too. But he had a nice interception today in the team period. He had a couple really good tackles in our team run period. Just playing a lot more confidently and playing to his strengths. He's a long, big, physical guy who can run, and he's playing to those strengths.
It seems like during practice, when you're watching the defense where you are spending more time, is that kind of a concentrated effort on your part too?
It wasn't coach speak when I said that's what I was going to do. I really am more involved than in all 3 phases than I've ever been. I'm enjoying it. It's fun to go back up and meet with the different phases of the team. And so it gives me, when I spend more time throughout the week with the defense or with special teams and still with the offense, I kind of split the service periods up. It gives me a better understanding on game day of exactly what we're trying to accomplish, and so it allows me to coach better on a game day as well. I can really coach to the specifics of calls rather than just in general, and so I can help Justin or Peter or Keith or Chris or any of those guys or Johnny in special teams of actually going to an individual player and talk about his technique or his alignment or his assignment rather than just the overall scheme.
It seems like there was an assumption based on the fact that you had so many offensive linemen coming back that the unit would just skyrocket and just be really, really good right away. Is that a false assumption? Do you feel like there's still sort of a work in progress for a variety of reasons?
I think we're still going to be very good. We're still, in the grand scheme of things, we're still a little young. We're playing some 3 true sophomores out there when, in reality, we probably should have redshirted them a year ago and they'd be redshirt freshmen this year. But they've got a lot of experience under the belt. I still think we're going to be very good. We got challenged last week by Arkansas State, where they gave us a couple fronts and pressures and defenses that were nowhere on film over the last 2 years of what they had shown. And so it really was actually good for us that we had to go to the sidelines, make adjustments, and go through that process with a new offensive line coach all at once, literally after the first series of the first game. That's going to benefit us down the road. So all in all, I still think that group's going to be very good, and we're going to lean on that group to help us win a championship.
How much benefit is it the way this defensive line challenges you every day?
Well, it's great. I mean, we were rotating 10 guys today with Claude back now for 3 spots, and so these guys are fresh. They battle through it. They put a lot of pressure on our offensive line, which is good. And our 2 offensive line performed well. I mean, we went 1s versus 2s there at the end of practice, and the 2s hit probably about 3 big plays, 3 of the biggest plays of practice today. So, when you talk about a guy even like a Jordan Austin, who's a redshirt freshman, pulling and blocking a Scott Felix. So those things are positive. That's what makes us who we are, you know. And I touched on it earlier, but our practices have to be hard. We have to be hard on one another because that's going to make us better and ultimately help us perform better on Saturday.
Where does things stand with Lamar Dawson at this point?
I mean, I think he's close. He's rehabbing really well. You know, when you break a bone, it takes time, and when you crack ribs, it takes time for those things to heal. That's just human nature. So he's moving well. He has not been cleared for contact, which is obviously a big issue in football. If you don't get cleared for contact, it's hard to play. But his movement's good. I went and watched him in part of his rehab today. He looks good. He's chomping at the bit to get back out there. So, you know, we're all hopeful we get him back for next week's game against Stanford.
There's a former Washington player who said he's going to publish a story about playing for you on Friday. Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
No, I don't know. I know Victor. He's a good kid. He was always a good kid under our program. I felt like, you know, we had a good relationship. We moved his position going into his senior year from, you know, he was about a third string safety to starting linebacker, and he led the conference in TFLs. I had a good relationship with his family. Tried to get his mom not deported, wrote a letter so she wouldn't get deported back to Nigeria, and gave him a great award at the Holiday Bowl. So I don't know. Quite honestly, you know, in 7 years of being a head coach, there's a lot of players that come and go, and you try to treat them all with the respect that you can.
Good.
Ready, guys?